Let me tell you the fascinating story of how basketball came to be, from its humble beginnings with peach baskets to becoming one of the most popular sports in the world. This is a tale of creativity, adaptation, and the power of a simple idea that changed sports forever. Our story begins in the winter of 1891 in Springfield, Massachusetts. At the International YMCA Training School, now Springfield College, a group of rowdy young men were driving their physical education instructor crazy. These students, accustomed to playing vigorous outdoor sports like football and lacrosse during warmer months, were stuck inside due to the harsh New England winter. The traditional indoor activities of the time, calisthenics, gymnastics, and marching drills, simply couldn't satisfy their competitive spirits or burn off their restless energy. The school's head of physical education, Dr. Luther Gulick, gave one of his instructors a special assignment. He challenged 30-year-old James Naismith, a Canadian physical education teacher, to invent a new indoor game that would be athletic enough to satisfy these competitive young men, safe enough to play indoors without risk of injury, simple enough to learn quickly, and fun enough to maintain their interest. Naismith had just 2 weeks to create this new game. He started by analyzing why existing sports wouldn't work indoors. Football and rugby were too violent and required too much space. Soccer balls flew too unpredictably in enclosed spaces. Lacrosse sticks were dangerous in close quarters. He needed something completely different. The breakthrough came when Naismith remembered a childhood game he played in Canada called Duck on a Rock. In this simple game, players tried to knock a large rock, the duck, off a boulder by throwing smaller stones at it. The key rule was that players couldn't run with their stones. They had to throw from where they caught them. This would become a foundational element of his new game. Naismith then synthesized elements from several sports. He took the passing and teamwork from rugby, the goal concept from lacrosse, the ball from soccer, and the jumping from track and field. On December 21, 1891, Naismith introduced his new game to the class. He had nailed 2 peach baskets to the lower rail of the gymnasium balcony, about 10 feet above the floor, incidentally establishing the height that remains standard today. He wrote up 13 basic rules and divided his 18 students into 2 teams of 9 players each, with 3 forwards, 3 centers, and 3 guards. That first game was chaotic but exhilarating. Players weren't used to not being able to run with the ball. The soccer ball they used didn't bounce well, and every time someone scored, the game had to pause while someone retrieved the ball from the peach basket. They hadn't yet thought to cut the bottoms out. Despite the awkwardness, the students loved this new game immediately. Within weeks, basketball began evolving rapidly. The first major improvement came in 1893, when someone finally thought to cut the bottom out of the peach baskets so the ball could fall through. Backboards were introduced in 1895 to prevent spectators in the balcony from interfering with shots. The soccer ball was replaced with the first dedicated basketball in 1894. The original rules seem strange by today's standards. Players couldn't dribble at first. That was added in 1897. After each score, teams would jump ball at center court. Games were divided into 2 15-minute halves. Physical contact was strictly prohibited. 3 consecutive fouls by a team awarded a point to their opponents. Word of this exciting new game spread quickly through the YMCA network. By 1893, basketball was being played at YMCAs across America. Women began playing as early as 1892 at Smith College, with slightly modified rules to account for the long skirts they wore at the time. Ironically, Naismith himself wasn't much of a promoter for the game he invented. He moved to Denver in 1895 and then to the University of Kansas in 1898, where he ironically became the first basketball coach in Jayhawks history, with a career record of 55 wins and 60 losses, making him the only Kansas coach with a losing record. The game continued evolving in the early 20th century. The number of players was reduced from 9 to 5 per team in 1897. The free throw was introduced in 1894 and was originally taken from 20 feet away. The first professional leagues emerged in the 1920s, though they were unstable. Teams would frequently form and fold. Games were often played in dance halls and small gyms before tiny crowds. A major step forward came in 1937 with the formation of the National Basketball League, NBL, sponsored by major corporations like General Electric and Firestone. After World War II, arena owners, looking to fill dates, created the Basketball Association of America, BAA, in 1946. The BAA had better venues and more financial backing than the NBL. In 1949, the two leagues merged to form the National Basketball Association, NBA, with 17 original teams. The NBA's early years were rough. Teams played in small venues, players had second jobs, and travel was difficult. But several key innovations helped establish professional basketball. The 24-second shot clock was introduced in 1954 to speed up play. Television broadcasts began in the 1950s. The merger with the flashy American Basketball Association, ABA, in 1976 brought us the three-point line and the slam dunk contest. Basketball's integration story is particularly inspiring. In 1950, Earl Lloyd, Chuck Cooper, and Nat Sweetwater Clifton broke the color barrier as the NBA's first black players. Bill Russell became the first African-American superstar in the 1950s and the first black coach, as player coach, in 1966. Today, the NBA is a global league with players from over 40 countries. The game's international growth has been phenomenal. Basketball became an Olympic sport in 1936. FIBA, International Basketball's governing body, was founded in 1932. Today, over 450 million people play basketball worldwide. The 1992 Dream Team, featuring Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird, helped globalize the game, inspiring a generation of international stars like Dirk Nowitzki, Yao Ming, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. From those first peach baskets to today's high-flying, three-point shooting modern game, basketball's evolution has been remarkable. What began as a simple solution to keep students active during winter has become one of the world's most popular sports, a testament to James Naismith's creativity and the universal appeal of his invention. The next time you watch an NBA game or shoot hoops in your driveway, remember that it all started with 2 peach baskets, a soccer ball, and one gym teacher's brilliant idea to solve a simple problem. That's the incredible true story of basketball.